So in for repair this week on Workshop Wednesday, we have a power washer. We also have a grading belt off one of the graders. We have our Broughan trailer and we have our little Manitou 3-ton forklift in for a spot of servicing as well. So first job on this morning, we see here we have a pipe burst on the power washer. Now this lance is off the one that spreads the foam over the vehicles, and as you can see it has blown off. This is the old fit. Now this does happen, unfortunately. It's just one of those things that will go over time. And as you can see here, the fact that the has been rubbing on concrete as well, there is this bad patch on it there. So what we've done is, just to get going, because just need to power wash a few things this morning, is we cut off to where there is probably a good end on it. So just with the grinder there, I cut it off. Now it's easy to bring the crimper here to crimp on the fitting, because otherwise we have to take the whole unit off and bring it up to the crimper. So the fact that this is mobile is a great job, very handy to have. So really what I'm looking for here, I'm looking for my fitting that's going to go back onto it. We use a one-piece fitting. Now you can get two-piece fittings as well, but the one piece just leaves it easier. So this is a 3/8 fitting, and we can crimp that down. It should slide onto the pipe like that, and we crimp it down. So once that's in place, I have to find out what dies I use. A couple of different dies for doing 1/4, 3/8 and 1/2 inch. So when we looked at the chart in there, the chart says that we have to use 22, yeah. So we're going to take these out. These just slide out. Let the pressure off the crimper. We slide out. These are 115, so they were used maybe for a 1/4 hose. Not a big job to change them there, they just slide out. And then we pop in these fittings here, or these dies. And then we also have a setting on the gauge, and it tells us inside that on the chart that it needs to be at 70. So it's just on the line there at 70. And sometimes we just give a little bit more of a squeeze. So we'll pop them back there. For the next lid that has to use them, at least they're in line. That's it then. Once we've that on, we have our fitting on. We can tighten up the rule of thumb is we generally just crimp it to the top of the fitting, and then we can crimp that little bit of the fitting after. Just use the lever then. See a little needle coming up in it there. Once that's flush, and that's flushed up, looking at that fitting there, it looks good. I don't think we'll have to just squeeze. Sometimes the ends can, if they're a longer fitting, they can just stick out a little bit. So once we've that off, we're fitting on here. Generally a 22 spanner, I think, if I'm right. Yeah. Now we have another one here. Moment of truth now. So that's the lance more or less fixed up. Now, there's only one other thing we have to do. Check for leaks. We have no leaks, but we'll have to take this stopper off. This stopper just stops the pipe when it goes back into the reel, that it doesn't go the full way in, and it should go in there. But we can bring this into the workshop, because looking at them screws there now, it's just might be a matter of cutting them off by the looks of them anyway, and we put that stopper back on that. So we'll bring this into the workshop. Might just get lucky, see this one coming out. It's actually an Allen key. Well, we come out with the screwdriver, so. That's that one out. So we can use the Allen key for this.
It's in there somewhere.
So it's in there somewhere, yeah. It just makes me that lucky. Yeah, so I think we probably can use them screws again. It looks to be just probably penetrate night on them, and it'll help for the next time. Yeah, a bit of spray grease there, that'll probably do the job. So now all I think we need is the Allen key, and we'll put it back on the pipe. So once we have the stopper here, just going to look here to maybe 1.5 meters and be away from. That should slide on like that. And I think actually it goes the other way because it is tapered. Could have slid it on before I put the crimp on as well, or before I put the fitting on it, but I didn't think actually it was going to come off that handy. That's it, doesn't have to over tighten. The beauty with that is that when it goes back into position, it'll stop that, and then we can just place our lance into the position there. Now that does need to be tightened too. Yeah, which it does. Job done. Little small jobber out here, well, myself and Brucey here. Yeah, you're very tired looking this morning, are you? Huh? So we have an elevator off this is out in the grading shed, and we've an issue there with the belt. Needs a bit of attention. So what's gone really wrong? Rollers, Mark, are you putting new rollers on it?
Yeah.
Huh? So what's happened here is some of these rollers have seized, and what will happen then is it'll just cause friction on the belt, and then there's a square spot on them here. So this is where, now it's very hard to, you know, to keep these going all the time. Generally every 6 months or so we will take them out, take the belt off and check the rollers out, but if the rollers are not going, all that will happen is that it will wear the belt and the belt will stop, and then you have a big problem. So we're just going to replace any of the rollers now. We have a few in stock there that we can just slot into it, yeah, just to keep these going. But this one's here, as you can see, it's just with all the dust and that, just the bearings do fail on them after a while, depending on how much they've been used. So what we found is with these bearings here, they're just not as good, so they're not. So kind of gone for a polypenco bush in them.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a very, very tight fit, as you can see. That's a good fit there. Yeah. But these bearings are going to last not longer, so we're going to replace all these older ones with this type, and hopefully that should prolong the.
For 1 year.
For 1 year. 1 year.
1 year warranty.
1 year warranty. More than 1 year we want. Yeah, so we'll replace all them, and then you have to put a joiner on the belt.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we need a joiner on the new belt. Well, it's not a new belt, but we're just going to put the joiner on it, and then that'll be it then. So yeah, another job. Mitsubishi forklift in. It's an MI30, 3-ton machine. Has a, I think it's a 6 meter lift on mass. Now we had a problem here with the pedal, a high pedal on the brake, and that pedal was sitting way up there. Now we thought initially, Jared, cable was broke, but we took off the covers around it here, and the cable is still intact, because that is one problem that they do give in odd time, isn't it?
Cable in the end of the brake.
The end of the brake,
on the bottom.
Yeah, see that, but that's still in position, so that looks good. Now what we did find, well, Jared found a hint there is at the back of the stopper, I suppose for the neutral position there, isn't it, on it?
Set screw.
The set screw, but it was actually broke in at the back of it there. The nut had come away from the frame. Yeah. So what we're going to do here is improvise, isn't it? Improvise, but a longer stud in and a lock nut down, or run a nut down.
The longer stud is about an inch longer than that one. Yeah. And lock nut behind it and still work just the same. Just the finest. Yeah. It
just found that when you were driving the machine the pedal was way up and a little bit dangerous. Now see another job on it here, Marco, as well. Cameraman there. The seat is completely gone on it, so that can often happen, because most of these forklifts, when you have no cabs on them, well, this has a cab but no doors on them, you're trying to slide in on them, and that's what will break, will kind of wear them all down. So I have to say, a good forklift, performing very well. Not just sure how many hours is on it there, but 2859, so there's nearly 3,000 hours on it. So it hasn't been idle, that's one thing for sure. So once we have it in, then we'll also give it a quick overview and check all the greasing points here on the axles as well, because sometimes they don't get looked at too frequently, so it's one thing that you have to kind of keep looking at. But yeah, we'll get that one done anyways. We'll walk away on that. Into the workshop this morning we have a Broughan trailer which has been in a spud field in very mucky conditions, and as you can see, all the clay has built up around it. Now the problem we're having here is that because it was probably running in a deep track, it has whipped off one of the pipes, or the fittings I should say, here on on the brake chamber. So it's just not an ordinary fitting, so it's not, David?
No, it's a Seared fitting. So you can see this is the ordinary push-in air fitting.
Yeah.
That's a 12mm.
Yeah.
So this is the same 12mm, only I can take this out here. That's the damage that's done to it. It's actually been repeatedly pulling the hose out of it. Yeah. So the internals of it.
Yeah, as you can see, it has damaged. A little.
It has an insert for the pipe to keep it.
Yeah.
Keep it round, and it's just given up. So the little fins inside that keep the pipe held in tight are gone loose. So we just need to replace that now. But instead of replacing it with an ordinary push-in, we need to get this Seared fitting. It's the correct one for the brakes.
Yeah, it's a higher spec.
It's a higher spec, is right. So for the minute, we just had this blue hose on it, which is, it's a lighter wall hose, but
compared
it's
to
just
this black one.
Yeah. So this is a lighter wall than this, and it's not just as flexible. It'll kink easier, as you can see.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but it runs it. Yeah. So we're going to have to get the. Thought this might do, but this actually won't do. So we're going to have to get some black hose and get a new fitting here on it. Just it's coming down from that equalising valve, coming down onto it. Now, look, it's probably just the conditions that it's working in. Really, it's nothing to do with the placement of it, because they actually are well up from underneath on the chassis there, or on the axle, we can say. But it's we have noticed that one or two of these have kind of fittings have come off them, and it's just really the location they're in and the conditions they're working in. But unfortunately, that just seems to be the way this show.
Yeah,
it's been
we need to keep them right too, because with heavy loads, and we keep the brakes correct, and all in working order. So we need
they're what, Italian, are they?
Italian made, yeah. Well, this particular one is anyway, as far as I know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they are Italian made. Sirit, S-I-R-I-T.
Yeah,
that's the name of them, compared to the standard.
Yeah, so we just have to look for
the standard will hold it, but with the vacuum and the pressures that these tractors can produce, it's just better off with especially the fact that it is a braking system, put the right parts into it. So we may go and get them.
So we're back up on the cattle farm here with Jack, and we've Jack Jr., who is Clodagh's son, and we've Clodagh for UPMC. And look, you're from a farming background. We're up here at the cattle facilities, with the handling facilities with Jack. Yeah. What would you recommend that would make his life a little bit easier? I know he's doing a little bit as his, but what else is here for?
Oh yeah, look, I suppose things are different from when I was younger, and when we used to be dosing cattle. You know, we've learned a lot now. There's little things we can do, I suppose. Long term, when you're looking at your buildings and setting up your yards, you know, you can make a medium to long term plan about your gates and where you position things like steps here, you know, being above your work at the crush, having good head gate. And then there's items that are relatively inexpensive, like your head scoops and you know, attachments that you can put onto your facilities to make life easier. And then simple things like when your cows are calving, even, you know, there's wheelbarrows you can get to move your calves, that you're not carrying calves and lifting calves, and you know, items for transporting milk. There's loads of things, and sometimes, like often we'd encourage farmers, you know, to go and visit other farms, which is great from a social perspective as well. Course, you know, farming can be very isolating, so you know, going to farm walks and talks and looking what other guys have and how they work it. But sometimes, you know, if you just even give yourself the time to step back, have a look at what you have, and make a plan to make a simple improvement every year, and it can make a big difference when you're doing a job like dosing cattle. You know, like I said, being above your work, you know, it just means you're not leaning, you're not bending, stretching as much. It's simple things. And look,
what's your favourite trick, or what do you have for? Have you a head scoop at home?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
And well, what do you think? Good job.
Right job. Yeah.
Right job, is that? And do you use it much?
A fair bit, yeah. When you be dosing, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you find it great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that comes man from experience there now. So Big Jack here is going to demonstrate maybe the use of the head gate and the head scoop.
You can see we have the head scoop here, we have the cow cart and the head gate. We're just going to give this cow 2 boluses here now, and the 2 boluses are in the gun. So, Jack, do you want to let up the head scoop?
No.
So as you can see now, the cow's head is restricted. She can't put her head down. If you hadn't that scoop, you'd be wrestling with them all day. So just grab the side of her mouth then, put the gun in and down the throat, and then that's that. Jack lets the scoop down, opens the head gate, and that's it.
Handling facilities around calving time and around, especially with the bulls in the background here. I know a lot of people are afraid of the bulls and they think they cause a lot more accidents, but there's more accidents actually with freshly born calves, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So you would see that coming into the clinic there, where there'll be lads with strains trying to get away from a cow or that.
Exactly, very excited cows.
Yeah, so we'll say, Jack, then we have upgraded.
Yeah, we've upgraded all our head barriers there, Condon head barrier to a stronger barrier.
Yeah.
And even you see them gates behind you, they're a lot more stronger gate. They're actually just square iron in them.
Yeah.
So they take a lot of driving out. And also in the pen itself, we have 2 gates that actually meet one another, so that if you are running cattle by the bulls, you have a bit of protection there.
Yeah, so always keep the gate in front of you there, especially when you're handling cattle and that. They can't come from behind, so that's very important. Yeah. I see you have the rubber mats down as well.
Rubber mats down as well, yeah, good job. Good job if you're working in the shed, sorting cattle, whatever. It's handier on the feet.
Yeah.
And it's also handier on the stock's feet as well.
Yeah.
But also another thing, if you are being behind the gate or forcing an animal up the gate, just you always have to make sure you have 2 hands behind it. So that if you were just going sauntering behind and the animal did drive it back, if you had only 1 hand, you'd be scuttled. So just put as much as your weight behind the gate as you can, and
just safety first.
Yeah.
At all times.
Yeah, at all times. Yeah.
Even one thing, we have like the non-slip floor. We have it at home as well to even inside in the crush, like to stop the cattle slipping and yourself. Like you could get an awful land down the ground. Like you take a wicked slap off the ground.
Like if that was smooth concrete like it is in the yard there, and you were walking and you did slip, you're falling from a height, you're running the risk of causing serious injury, not only to you, but even with the cows there, they come out to crush, they slip, they might break a leg or they might get a hurt. So it's one thing to bear in mind when you are laying down fresh concrete, if it is around your handling facilities, always make sure to just put a bit of a groove in it there and a non-slip. So
remember, always look after yourself first. There you go, Mick. There's a hot top for you. Thank you. Yeah, we need it today.
It's cool.
So that's it for this week's Workshop Wednesday. Just like to thank UPMC, who have teamed up with Finnegan's on the last couple of videos there. You would have seen that over the last number of weeks. A great message out there just to look after your health, guys, whoever's watching. Just so important. I'd like to thank Clodagh, to David and to Jack, Clodagh's son, who came up there and was in the last video there. So yeah, that's it from Finnegan's Farm. We'll talk to you all next Wednesday.